Hi, I'm Chart Gal Lori. I am part of the Chart Guys community. I've been a trader and technical analyst for the last 8 years. I'm going to go over the indices, movers and shakers, some crypto, which we saw a new all-time high overnight, and some cannabis and psychedelic. Let's hop to it. All right, it is Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. Let's just start out with the econ events so we can look at what's coming up tomorrow. We have PPI and initial jobless claims. That's the biggest things we have coming up. We have retail sales, but those are the bigger ones, the jobless claims and PPI. That will be tomorrow morning. All right, starting with the indices. So on ES, we are closing with an inside day. So we are inside yesterday's range. And I like to explain inside days as the drunk girl walking home from the bar with high heels when she's wobbly and has lots of misdirection. When you lack liquidity, you see the bulls and bears probing liquidity to the upside and to the downside, looking for blocks, and it's not there because volume dries up. So they're probing liquidity, and then they have misdirection on shorter term time frames because they can't find that volume they're looking for. So if we look here, we have 4 minutes left in the trading day. We're at 45 million on SPY and 70 million is our average. Look at QQQ. We've traded about 34 million and 45 million is our average. So that explains why we have more misdirection in what people call chop, is because we lack that liquidity. So if we look at today, we had an inside bar. How many times has that happened this year? So starting in this area, this is January. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, let me count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's happened 6 days this year. So it is March 13th. So we are 2.5 months in and we've only had 6 inside days. So we've had lots of volatility. These inside days kind of stop you in your tracks because you're waiting for that volatility to be incoming and you just have this choppy action. So that kind of explains what happened today. No major issues. This could still be a 4-hour cup and handle here on ES. No big issues today. NASDAQ had a bigger pullback. Now we have an equilibrium that's formed on the 4-hour. So we'll see tomorrow, where do we set that higher low, which is the more likely scenario, which is data dependent. Things could change when the data comes out. QQQ. We went over that, but let me see NASDAQ. Yeah, that could be a 4-hour head and shoulders. We'll see tomorrow how that turns out. RTY, we have made a 4-hour lower high compared to 2108.90, and now we have enough room for a 4-hour higher low compared to 207.260, which will likely be set tomorrow. Dow is closing green with a nice hammer candle. Bulls buying the dip today. We are in a 4-hour uptrend. Dow has really been carrying the load. Looking at VIX, VIX has just been, hemorrhaging, I guess is the right word, hemorrhaging. We have lost support. Your next support is down at 1332. You've entered the gap area. Just fear has exited the building for the most part for now. Bitcoin got a new all-time high overnight. This was at 2:30 in the morning my time, 73,709.99. So let's call it 73,700. And bulls have been fighting back today. When they get pushed down, they've been really fighting back. So Bitcoin bulls have to be proud here. So if you're still playing back burners, I think that they're still on the table, I would say, for the 30-minute now and higher, but they're still there. Coin had a $1 billion offering after hours yesterday, and I think that explains this weakness. It is definitely weaker than Bitcoin. I think finally cooler heads have prevailed and bears are shorting it now, saying, wait a minute, this is a huge opportunity to short coin. Look how far it's been up without building structure on the way up. MSTR, cooler heads have not prevailed, is up 11%. Bitcoin new all-time high, MSTR new all-time high. They're definitely the most closely correlated with the exception of the ETFs, of course. We have Mara, which was very weak today. This looks a lot like Coin, which they had their offering about 2 weeks ago. miners are just really getting beat up. So Riot is still holding the closing price of yesterday, not as weak as Mara and Coin, which had the offerings. Looking at the dollar. So the dollar has been in a downtrend today, and that allowed gold to bounce. Gold has been in a tremendous bounce. Bulls are looking to confirm this daily bull flag. If we go look at the miners, GDX, we confirmed the daily bull flag today. And Dan was posting about the miners, the junior miners this morning in pre-market, and that worked out well. Daily bull flag confirmed as well. So definitely caught up. Oil has had a very bullish day. They had inventory today. They're in an hourly uptrend. They're in a 4-hour uptrend. We were unable to get through $79.99, so that'll be the key level going forward, $80. Apple got a downgrade, I believe, this morning. I know Tesla did, but I'm not sure about Apple. I shouldn't say that because I'm getting confused because they got a downgrade yesterday. But it was heavy again today. We broke the low of the prior day, but only by 25 cents in pure Apple fashion. Break above and fail. Break below and fail. It just does this often. So we'll be looking for 170.76. That'll be the key support going forward tomorrow. Google had a strong day. Google came out of the gate strong. It immediately crossed over the prior day high and zoomed higher, and we're still holding the prior day high as support, and the market's now closed. Just shows the strength. Microsoft, not as much. Microsoft had news, something related to the dividend, and again, in true Microsoft fashion, they gave it all back at open, climbed above yesterday's high, and then immediately came back under. So Microsoft, just look for those pops and drops. When you have those gap up situations and then immediately reclaims the prior day range, Microsoft does this often. Go back and look at the charts for the last, I would say, month, and you're going to see it a lot more than probably any other chart you look at. If you find a chart that does it more than Microsoft, let me know. I want to know. Snow was my trade that I took during my live stream this morning. I took Snow calls for next week. 162.5 calls, got in at 252, exited at 450. I had some exits while I was live as well. And what I was watching was this 30-minute falling wedge. You can really see it on the hourly as well. That was making these tiny lower lows without follow through, and it had that squeeze. I like this setup going into today. And I'm not done with Snow. I'm going to watch it again tomorrow. It did give a lot back, it gave a lot more back than what bulls would have liked. Okay, words are hard. Tesla got a downgrade and it was weak. Now, daily bear flag, not only confirmed yesterday, followed through today. Daily RSI is approaching oversold. If we have a gap down tomorrow, I will be interested in a long. Semis had a daily inside bar. We closed the potential hourly bear flag. AMD broke the low of the prior day. It was weaker than others. ARM broke the high of the prior day. It was stronger than others. NVIDIA, inside bar, daily inside bar. And the more I watch these correlations so directly with NVIDIA and the SPY, where NVIDIA goes, goes the market. And I've been seeing it over and over. And you could just tell today NVIDIA was, of course, in an inside bar all day, but you could tell that bulls were looking for some direction, and they could not find the direction from the market, and the market could not find direction from NVIDIA. SMCI was stronger. It broke through the prior day's high and held pretty well into close. And then finally, psychedelics and cannabis. ATAI broke the prior day low. It was weak. MNMD had a 9% day. Pretty big bull day. CYBN kind of spurred that, I believe. CYBN had news overnight of some study approval. It made the initial low of day, and then a lot of us traded that. And it came down and broke the low of day back into Tuesday's range and closed very weak. MSOS found some strength toward the end of day, closed above the prior day high. I would say that's a win for MSOS bulls, and they needed a win. It was time. They were due. And last night I did this video and I'm like, I'm writing down TCNNF for tomorrow. Did I write it down? No. Did it fall off my radar? Yes. I did see people talking about it in the chat room. I was just otherwise engaged, or otherwise, what's the right word? I don't know. So TCNNF closing with a daily inside bar, went sideways most of the day and then popped into the end of day. This is not bad. Daily high or low is likely set now. And then we look for potential higher high or lower high. All right, that's it for the market recap.